Have you ever thought that what people call love for the Prophet could actually be idolatry? There is only one being whom we are asked to love without seeing: Allah. I know that sounds shocking, but in this video I want to show you the difference between love, respect, and idolatry according to the Quran. Muslims are taught that they have to love the Prophet, that he is closer to Allah than anyone else, and that he is Allah's beloved. But nowhere in the Quran will you find that. And even if Allah had told you that, Allah commanded us to make no distinction between his prophets. So how is that? Why couldn't we love him if he had been Allah's most beloved prophet? Because Allah can choose whoever he wills and raise him in rank. But for us, the command is clear. We make no distinction between any of them. If Allah commands us not to make distinction between his messengers, then where did the idea come from that one prophet deserves a special form of devotion that the others do not? Isn't the Muslim story similar to the Christians? Christians made Isa the son of God because he was born through a miracle. Muslims made Muhammad the most beloved because making him the son of God was strictly forbidden. Can you see the similarity? Now let's see how this idea of love works and how easily it can become idolatry. Can we really love someone we never knew? Think about it. Did you have a grandparent who died before you knew them? Or a great grandparent, or an uncle, or someone that you never met? Have you heard stories about them from your parents? If you have, you may respect them because of those stories. You may appreciate what they did. But can you truly love someone you never met, never spoke to, and never knew personally? Love normally grows through a relationship, experience, and truly knowing a person. Now, don't jump to say you can compare with the prophet. Just keep listening. Because your parents did love him, the person they knew. They loved the person they had met, lived with, and known. So, in this case, love is for someone we actually know. Before I say it's not the same because the prophet was chosen by Allah, let me ask you something else. Do you love Musa the same way? Or even more? Because Allah told you many stories about Musa in the Quran. In fact, the biggest story in the Quran is not Muhammad's life, it is Musa's. We know Musa's struggles, his fears, his conversation with Allah, his mistakes, his mission, and his journey. But when it comes to the Prophet Muhammad, almost everything people know about his life comes from books written by men after him, not from Allah book. So why do you really love the Prophet Muhammad? Is that love coming from the Quran or from books written later? Let's stop for a moment and think about what I've just said. It's not because you personally knew him. It's not because Allah told you the details of his daily life in the Quran. You love the Prophet because the Hadith taught you to love him that way. And this is where we need to ask another question. When does admiration stop being admiration and become idolatry? Now think about something else. Do you see how people search for and follow all those stars from TV, actors, singers, football players, even influencers? You see them crying at concerts, trying to touch them, asking for an autograph or a photo. They search for what they wear, what perfume they like, how their house look, how they raise their children, and buy anything they recommend. Why? Aren't they just people? It's not because they believe every recommendation they make. It's because they want to be like them. They are talented, yes. I listen to some of their music and I like a few of them, but everything beyond that becomes idolatry. It is no longer simply enjoying their music or their acting. People want to become like them. People idolize them. Idolatry begins when admiration becomes imitation and devotion. And I already know the argument that comes next. But Allah commanded us to obey the messenger, and that he is a living example. To correct you, he was a living example for the people who lived with him, not for us. Now, think about what the Quran actually gave us. Allah commanded us to pray. How? However, we understand true submission to Allah. He commands us to give zakat. How much? Whatever is in excess for us. He commands us to wash for prayer. Wash your face, your hands to the elbow, wipe your hand and your feet. The Quran gives broad guidance and leaves space for individual lives. But people wanted more. They wanted to do exactly what the Prophet did. Hadith made people become obsessed with the Prophet, how he sat, how he ate, how he slept, how he dressed, how he cut his hair, how he entered a room, even how he spat. Instead of following the broad guidance that Allah gave us, they started trying to imitate every detail of one man's daily life. And in their mind, it's because they fear that if they don't do exactly the same, they won't be worthy. They constantly live with questions like, what if I pray wrong? What if I miss one detail? What if I don't copy the Prophet exactly? What if Allah rejects me? But Allah told you to fear only Him. It is only Satan who frightens his supporters. So do not fear them, but fear me if you are a believer. I'm not talking about the natural instinct that makes you move away from danger. Allah created that within us. I'm talking about that constant what if fear that controls people. This intrusive kind of fear is from Satan. It makes you doubt yourself, and it even makes you doubt the natural understanding Allah gave you. And there is something else. No matter what you do, you will never be like the Prophet because you were not chosen like the Prophet. You are a different person. Even the other prophets were not like him. They didn't compare themselves with each other. They respected one another, and each one had his own personality and character. That is what made them truly submit to Allah, not copying and mimicking somebody else's movement. So now think again about those two examples, idolatry for celebrities and idolatry for the Prophet. Aren't those following exactly the same pattern? Now, the most important argument of all, there is only one being whom we are asked to love without seeing, Allah. That is our test in this life. We have never seen Him, yet we trust Him, we worship Him, we rely on Him, and we love Him. But even though we have never seen Him, He has given us countless signs that He exists. He gave us the Quran, He gave us creation, He gave us the feeling in our hearts that He is always present, that He protects us and guides us. The only one we are asked to love without ever seeing Him is Allah. So if you give that same unseen devotion to a human being we have never met, never spoke to, and never know personally, aren't we crossing a line that belongs only to Allah? It may look like an innocent act, but look where it ends. Look how easily love can become idolatry. Some of you will feel accused. Some of you will feel angry. Some of you may even feel deceived. I understand that. This is a difficult subject because many of you genuinely believe that what you felt was love for the Prophet. But this video is not about attacking anyone or opening old wounds. It is for those who are sincerely seeking Allah and want to know whether what they inherited is really what Allah revealed. Because no matter what religion we are born into, we all have the same responsibility. We have to seek Allah ourselves. We have to ask questions. We have to search for the truth instead of simply inheriting a religion from the people around us. On the day of judgment, we will not stand before our parents, our imams, or our scholars, or before Bikari. We will stand before Allah alone. So every one of us has to ask one question. Am I following what Allah revealed, or am I following what people attach to religion later? If this video made you think, write in the comments what subject would you like to explore next from the Quran. And if you want to continue this discussion, I also recommend watching these two videos next because they build directly on what we talked about today, where the Quran and Hadith really preserved the same way, and 30 Hadith that contradict the Quran. Peace be upon you. See you on my next video.